You guys stay tuned for this one. This is going to be fun. First off, I want to apologize to all the Nebraska fans last week. During my little rant and tirade after we won the game, I mentioned that Nebraska, you guys got beat by Iowa State last year and all that kind of crap. Well, you know what? You can mark that off the list for Texas because we just did that. Yeah, that just happened here in DKR. I just got back from the game. That's the most embarrassing. I thought the UCLA game was the most embarrassing. But the thing is, after UCLA, after the effort you saw against Oklahoma, after the win against Nebraska and Lincoln, people, myself included, looked at that as that's an anomaly. That was just a game where Texas wasn't ready. We got caught off guard. But we're not going to let that happen again. The exact same thing happened. Iowa State did the same thing UCLA did. They ran the same kind of offense. They beat us the same way. And the problem with this team is they only show up when they think they have to. When we went to Lubbock this year, that was a big. Now Tech's not that good this year, but when we went to Lubbock this year, that was a big ball game, and the guys showed up and won the game. We went to Dallas this year against Oklahoma. We lost the football game, but no one can tell me that the Longhorns did not fight their guts out. If they just played a bit smarter, they could have won that ball game. And then last week, when no one, including myself for the most part, didn't think they could win in Lincoln, they manned up and they beat Nebraska. So they're feeling good about themselves. And they come back to Austin, and, you got Iowa State. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be easy. And you get punched in the mouth. Iowa State whipped the dog out of Texas today. And it's an arrogance on this team. You listen to Mac Brown. If you got to hear his press conference after the game, that's the most pissed off Mac Brown has ever been. And he should be. And part of this is on him, too. But Mac all week has said, don't eat don't eat the rotten cheese. He uses that all the time. Which means don't buy into all the hype. Don't buy into everyone thinking you're the best thing in the world. Then you buy into that and you don't show up. He said he was scared all week. He put on the coaches, put on the players, put on himself. There's no accountability on this team. It seems like the same guys who keep making the same mistakes still get to go out there and play. Now, this is one of the games when you play, because you can't lose the fact that as I talk about this, we are talking about the Iowa State Cyclones, okay? And Iowa State fans, congrats. You guys won this ball game. You beat the dog out of Texas. Congratulations to the fans that came down from Ames. You guys deserve this thing. I had some Iowa State fans. They looked like older alumni. They were going nuts. Nothing but respect. They never throw the horns down. They were just happy for their team. Great fans over there. But that being said, this is Iowa State. So everything I say from here on, you have to put in mind that I'm talking about that I have been forced to sit there and try to break down and look at what happened in the game against Iowa State. Garrett Gilbert played terrible for the first 3 quarters of this game. And I'm not throwing the towel on this guy. I know a lot of Longhorns fans are going to do that. I still think Garrett Gilbert's the guy for this team because you saw in the fourth quarter when we took the handcuffs off of him and said, okay, we're going to open up the offense for you, he got us 2 touchdowns, all right? The offensive line was terrible today. The fact that Iowa State can not even blitz, but even to do that, can get pressure every single play, especially there in the fourth quarter. And the running backs, I don't know, where was finding the cutback lanes like last week? Maybe they weren't there this week. I don't know. But I think what gets lost, and I think a part of this team that gets a pass too much, is the defense. The defense was terrible today, horrible. Will Muschamp did not have these guys ready to go today. I know the linebackers, a lot of them didn't practice this week. That doesn't matter. There's no excuses for this. There's no we're young or the defense got tired. Iowa State in the first quarter was able to drive the length of the field and get a touchdown. If you're tired by then, you don't even be playing college football. This team, and I don't care if the offense wasn't scoring, this Texas defense gave up 28 points to Iowa State. That's 4 touchdowns. And they weren't gimme touchdowns either. These were drive it down your throat for 199 yards on the ground, beat down. Defense sucked. Offense sucked. Special teams, that's pretty much been a staple for Texas to suck. This whole, the whole we're young, we're whatever, we're building, that doesn't apply to games like this. That applies to games against Nebraska and Oklahoma. You can pull that card there. There's no way to pull that card here. Iowa State doesn't belong on the same field with Texas. But the thing is, you can't think that, though, because the guys went out. I mean, myself, I was walking around out there thinking, and I bought into it. I thought that I felt the same way as I did before the UCLA game. Walk out there, you look at the size of the players. We started pointing out how much bigger the Texas players were than the Iowa State players. Iowa State's full of a bunch of one-star recruits, and they put a whooping on Texas. Beat us down. So what does this team do? I don't know what this team needs to do. This team, to say it plays up to its competition and down its competition is an overstatement. Because, but I even said in my Nebraska video during my whole little craziness or whatever, I did say that you can't run that same offense. That you got to change it up week in to week out to beat people. And we tried to. It didn't work. Garrett Gilbert made 3 interceptions, one of those in the end zone. You can't do that. He was dead arming so many balls. It was terrible. But once again, I'm a guy who never believes that one guy is the problem on a team. This is a whole mindset on this team. Apparently, I've heard through the grapevine, the Curtis Brown and Aaron Williams, two guys that are great on defense, that one of those guys, I'm not sure who, has asked to return the punt because he's trying to look good for the NFL. We've got guys on this team that are already doing that. I'm sorry, none of these guys on this team right now are good enough to just try to get the NFL scouts. It's not happening. See, I love this team. I'm a senior this year here at Texas. For you guys who don't think that I am, I'm going to graduate in May from the University of Texas, and I've loved this team my entire life. And it just sickens me. You can take losses, and these kind of losses you can't take. But when you look out there and you see these guys just flat, and the only reason they came alive in the fourth quarter was because it became apparent that they could actually lose the game. I don't think they thought they could lose the game in the first 3 quarters. And once the clock started running down, like, oh, crap, and they started playing hard. And the offense came on clicking, but the defense couldn't get it to stop and give us enough time, though the offensive line couldn't block for Gilbert either. It was... Congratulations to Iowa State. Paul Rhodes had those guys ready to play. Ran the same offense UCLA did, and kept us off balance. So I'm not giving Will Muschamp a pass. I'm not giving Greg. Of course, Greg Davis. We all know about that. And Mac Brown. You can't give any of them. Now the people. This is where crazy stupid Longhorns fans come out. The guys who are always wanting to fire somebody, and I actually heard on the radio people wanting to fire Mac Brown. You guys are idiots. If you are out there and you think that Mac Brown needs to go or be fired, you are an idiot. Take off your Texas Longhorn stuff and leave because you know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I was not one of the many who left early. I never leave a football game early. Whether it's Cowboys or Longhorns, I stay the entire time. I'm going to stay there and represent my team as best I can and hope for the best. And we tried to get it. Embarrassing. Most embarrassed I felt as a Texas Longhorns fan. This is a team, and you can definitely see how, no matter how good we played against Oklahoma, Oklahoma is this season is by far better than the Texas Longhorns, because this is an Oklahoma team who last week, this same Iowa State team, went to Norman and got beat 52-0. They beat them 52-0 without even making Iowa State turn the ball over. So they scored 52 points on offense. That's a well-oiled machine Oklahoma has right now. I don't care what happens tonight with them in Missouri. I think they're going to beat Missouri down. But if they lose, I don't care. Longhorns fans, we have no room. I don't want to see any Longhorns fans making fun of Aggies or Red Raiders or Baylor. You can't make fun of Baylor. They're probably better than we are anyways. Oklahoma, anything. All right? We just got beat by Iowa State. Historically, the worst team in the Big 12. It happened. That happened. Texas, this is terrible. This is horrible. So, I don't know where this team goes from here. Got Baylor next week, who has an actually good quarterback in Robert Griffin. Gonna be fun to see this defense because I've been high on this defense all year. I've talked about this defense as being one of the best before the season. That no matter what this team did, you could definitely say that this secondary and this defense was one of the best units in college football. They're not, because they're not playing that hard every single week. Played against Nebraska, just showed up and shut them down. But against Iowa State, you had them run all over you. I'm sorry. So now you have to chalk that up to us just showing up for Nebraska and showing up against Oklahoma to almost win that game. Because right now, I don't care if we did beat them. Nebraska fans, I know I was hard on you last week. Nebraska, your team is better than our team right now. I don't care if we won last week. Nebraska is better than Texas. Oklahoma better than Texas, because people want me to say that. That's what it is right now. This Longhorns team has got to find some kind of identity, because this is worse than 2007. Worse than 2007, because at least 2007 I knew that we had a quarterback who could lead this team. Gilbert right now, I still think I'm not saying he's not the leader, that he isn't a leader, but he's not Colt McCoy. It's just a fact. But I'm still behind Garrett Gilbert 100%. I think he gives us the best chance to win. I feel if we just open the offense up, we will be better. But hey, they don't pay me money to coach, so Iowa State, your fans, congrats. You whipped the snot out of us. Texas, you play like a bunch of arrogant pricks out there today. And this is what happens. You did against UCLA. In the LA Times, they talked about how they were joking around before the game, and Mac Brown talked about today that before the game, Longhorns players were just jacking around and stuff, weren't taking Iowa State seriously. And that's how you get your butt whipped. We'll see you guys later. Hook 'em horns. Embarrassing. Pathetic.